This round of 32 picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and use the promo code SGPN.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer dog?
Surviving. Survived the day. We made it.
Starting bright and early and putting in a 12 solid hours of drinking, gambling, sweating out college hoops. Joining us here in Las Vegas, Colby Dant, a.k.a. Pig Dundee from the college experience. Shout out to the chat checking in. We're live. Imbibing a bunch of substances throughout the day, kind of hitting a wall. But Colby, hats off to you. 4-0 on your locks and hit the money line. Dog, let's go.
And I'll be honest, I hit both dogs with McNeese. I mean, the two dogs today that hit were both money line plays by your boy. So, I mean, look, it's Vegas. We're surviving. And great day today. The only thing I really lost was UC San Diego -2.5, and then a first to 10 with Utah State. But I had to smash the day really with a lot of good plays. And it was not the greatest day as far as great games.
Yeah, but UCSD that was a great finish there. Unfortunately, I was 2-2 with my locks. I had UCSD. God, was that a sweat there at the end? Did add a sprinkle Omaha. First to 10 that our buddy Rosenberg gave out. That was a fun sweat. Kramer, 4-0 on your locks. Hats off.
And I did actually, not that it matters, but I originally did have Drake money line. I moved it to the lock column.
Can we talk about that? I mean, the SEC gets all these teams in, and you have a D2 team. Drake is a D2 team, basically, that pretty much won wire to wire. I think they were down 2-0 to start the game. But other than that, they had the lead the entire fucking game. I just think, maybe we overreacted. I said put the whole SEC in so we don't want a 96-team tournament. But judging by Texas, judging by some of these SEC teams, I don't know that they were as good of a conference as we thought.
Well, shout out to Woo Pig, John Calamare in Rhode Island getting the win. That was a nice hit for me. Nice little cash over there. I mean, our buddy man in the box, CJ Sullivan, was pointing out to Kramer, how could you not be rooting for a Calamare Patino combo? I mean, John Calamare might deserve Italian American of the Week, Ryan. Are you considering giving him that award?
No, they're going to get their ass beat with the way they played. I mean, if they play the same, that is a dumbass team. And Kansas, Hunter Dickinson, dumbass player. I've never watched a tournament game where it was very clear that a player that the head coach for a team who thought, clearly Bill Self thinks he's good, plays him a lot of important minutes. They were hemming and hawing over him using a foul in the first half because they were worried he'd miss out at minutes in the second. This guy sucks. Scott Reichel had a great quote about him. He couldn't. It was Moneyline Mac. I'm sorry. He couldn't rebound with second graders. Talk about a lazy motherfucker. Like, that guy went from being someone who was this was big news when he transferred to Kansas to they were a better team when he was off the court.
I don't understand, and I honestly think they lost because they put him on the court. You look at that. They had the momentum. They call it, out of a commercial timeout. They put him on the court, and he's responsible for the two biggest turnovers. He also misses a critical three and a critical hook shot, and I don't even think he scored a point in the second half. And he got completely outplayed on the other side. So It's a bummer if you're a Kansas fan. I know even if you had won this game, you lost KJ Adams for the season. So I'm not sure if you want the better matchup, it's probably Arkansas St. John's. And I will say this, Rick Pitino never goes zone. You know, Rick Pitino, he's going to do in-your-face man-to-man defense for 40 fucking minutes. But going to be interesting to see if he goes to – like, he never does zone. But when Bill Self went to zone, Arkansas looked fucking horrible. So,
yeah,
I know Patino's stubborn. He probably won't. But, man, I would think you got to at least think about it based on the tape today.
Same story in McNeese. I mean, it was the same thing. They played Will Wade came out and played like a weird matchup zone, and they had no idea what to do. Clemson had no idea.
No, I mean, Clemson, that game was crazy too. I mean, they had what, like 13 points in the first half. Then they stormed all the way back. They didn't quite get to that like final shot, but they ended up losing by 2. If you were on the under, that was an insane beat because they had like how many points did they have in that last minute? That was insane.
Couldn't miss a 3 for a minute there. I was getting a little tense because I had that money line play. And I'll be honest, I had played the money line prior to the news of him taking the NC State job. I don't know that I would have if I knew. Luckily, I placed the bet prior. Because I was convinced, but when he took that job, I'm like, this is a distraction. But McNeese is a dangerous team, man. I mean, I don't know what to make of I think the roster. I thought Scott Rochelle had a good point saying they're all playing their ass off to try to be transfers to NC State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, hey, it's an audition of like, hey, who's coming with me to NC State? All right. Anything else we want to talk about Thursday wise? Any other and shout out to all the listeners. Met a bunch of people as always. Saw people rocking a ton of TCE gear, SGPN gear. The refs are terrorists, first half unders. I saw some man in the box gear. It was awesome. So shout out to everyone. And again, if you're out in Vegas, we're doing our live VSiN show tomorrow night, aka Friday, 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock local time. Good time to hang out with us after if you're around Circa. I'm sure we'll be hanging out there. And so we'll do Saturday's picks. We have the 2 extra games Friday. We'll do Saturday's picks. And then Sundays, the picks for Sunday, we won't have a podcast because we're doing VSiN late night. So if you want all those picks, check out the VSiN show.
Yeah, I was catching the cab back to from Westgate back to our hotel, and the guy giving us the cab, he's like, dude, I see everyone rocking that SGPN shit. What is that? So I had to drop him. I had to drop him a car. But he's like, all I see is he's like, all I see is fucking people rocking that SGPN stuff. So, amen. We're making progress. Make sure you check out the merch store. Be a part of it.
No, there's a bunch of great stuff. Jake killed it. Still probably promo code madness. I don't know if it's active, but still, it's all reasonably priced. All right. Are we good? Anything else you want to talk about today? And then we'll hop into the picks.
First half unders, a little bit of a bounce back.
Yeah. Well, considering they were 0-4, they had a nice little where are we at right now, Ryan?
9-7 today, 0-4 in the first 4. So 9-11 overall. A little bit of a bounce back. And shout out to the haters online that don't listen to the show and only respond to the first half tracker, mad that I'm posting a number that isn't as good as their number. I mean, again, or you must be.
Well, also too, people, especially with first half unders, shop around these, and we go every year. We go off the ones, the first half under when we pick the games. So that's the only realistic way to do it. And people get fired up like, it was 71. I had 71 and a half. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. Gambling, especially with these first half unders. I mean, whatever you got, like so many of these fall right near the number. So again, get them early or shop around. But yeah, we base it off what the number is when we're picking the old first half unders. All right, real quick before we get started, of course, shout out to DraftKings. College hoops, what a day of college basketball. You got the upsets, the Cinderellas. Love me some DraftKings with live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time, here's something special for you. New DraftKings customers bet $500 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I'm rocking with Troy money line. It's like 6-1, so I'm going to give it a roll. Of course, lines and odds subject to change. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/AUDIO. And of course, shout out to Rhythm, your home for AI picks and props. Been using the Rhythm model, been firing off, get our model going, cooking. Of course, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get you the Rhythm app, get you some free plays, build your model. Very easy. Very easy. And shout out to Jake. He's extending the merch for live watchers, not approved by management. I like it, Jake. Appreciate you extending the promo code. But yeah, get your 7-day free trial to Rhythm. Again, big thanks to Rhythm for the party. That was awesome. It was a great chance to meet a bunch of you as well. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Kramer, where are we at? What do we got to talk about here?
You're on mute, brother.
Interesting development. We missed a couple games due to the playing games. So quickly, we have the 11:50 a.m. tip out on the West Coast, Raleigh, North Carolina. Mount St. Mary's taking on Duke. Duke laying 32.5. A hilarious minus 100,000 on the money line. 70-1 for Mount St. Mary's to win a single basketball game. 140.5 is the total. 67.5 is the first half total. I mean, this is ridiculous, right?
Yeah, I mean, these big spreads have been kind of hard. Colby, what are you doing?
No, I think I like the points here because Malik Brown's a game time decision. If I'm Duke, why play him? And Cooper Flagg, I'll be honest, like I would limit. I don't know why you would play him at all, if even for just a short amount of time. I don't expect those two to play. If they do, I expect very minimal minutes. So I will take the 32.5 with Mount St. Mary's. But yeah, I mean, these big spreads are ridiculous, but I think Duke wins by 25.
Yeah, I'm taking Mount St. Mary's plus 32.5. I guess it's tough to have a lot of takeaways from the playing game, but I don't know, to your point, Colby, how motivated is this Duke team to completely destroy them? They're dealing with the injuries, them nursing those guys along. Makes kind of sense there. So I would go plus 32.5 Mount St. Mary's. Kramer, what are you doing?
I mean, I think it seems like that would be the move. I hate to be impressed by a 16 seed play-in game and then get screwed because then the massive up level in talent. But I thought all the 16 seeds looked relatively. I mean, all the lower seeds. I'm trying to think if any of them got absolutely smashed, but I feel like for the most part, the lowest of seeds didn't look horrible today. So yeah, I'll take the points too.
Yeah, I guess SIU Edwardsville.
Yeah.
Lost by 38.
Wait, who did they play?
Houston.
They played Houston.
Oh, that's right. My Houston Cougars.
Oh, yeah. Houston. This is when Houston looks great. No, don't worry about Houston. Nothing to see here. Kramer, and keep an eye on the commandments because I know we had some going into the second round for these games. So remind
we'll get
me
to them
and the audience.
Yeah, when we flip the page, we will get there. The other game is the 6:45 tip in Cleveland, Ohio. We got the 11 seed Xavier, nice win in the playing game. Hell of a sweat at the Rhythm party too. And then Illinois, the 6th seed, Illinois laying 3.5 minus 154 on the money line. Xavier plus 128, 159.5 is the total. 76.5 first half total. We got a couple big ones tomorrow. We got an 80-point total. We got a 79.5 point total, and we got a 76.5 point total. So should have some fun sweats there. Colby, what are we doing here?
I want to correct you. It's in Milwaukee.
What did I say?
It's in
Cleveland?
Milwaukee. You said Cleveland, and that does mean the Illini will probably have a good fan turnout. But I like the teams that get that play-in game. Well, I faded North Carolina. There's normally one team that really steps up. I think it's the X-Men. They've been playing a lot better down the stretch. The fact they got that game, I think they won 8 of their last 10. They're healthier. And yeah, give me the Illini. I've been all over the place this year. So I got the X-Men. I think they win it outright.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois is a tough team to trust. Every time I have, they've gotten destroyed, a la when I picked them to go up against Maryland. Xavier is playing pretty competent basketball, and I like that they faced some adversity against Texas. I mean, there was a number of times I thought my bet was cooked, and then they came all the way back, got it done, saved the day at the rhythm party. Everyone was cheering, going nuts there for Xavier. Great start to the tourney there. I'll keep riding with Xavier.
Yeah, got him advancing. Wrong team favored. This is a money line play.
Let's go. Consensus play on Xavier.
Enjoy that, Discord. All right, so heading over to the second round. These are the Saturday games. I don't think we have times yet. Colby maybe can correct me. So we're just
I got so McNeese Purdue is at 9:10 a.m.
No. Are you sure? 100%?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the first game tipping off is McNeese State, Purdue.
All right,
Purdue
cool. I think I might have gotten them in order then. I'll ask you for some more times as we go. McNeese, Purdue, the 12-4. McNeese did look good. They certainly did not look overmatched in the Clemson game. This is another clearly winnable matchup. I'm regretting not having pushed McNeese a little harder. Maybe it was last year's recency bias. But 5.5 point spread for Purdue, minus 258. McNeese plus 210. 150.5 is the total. But this feels like a ripe for another upset for McNeese.
Yeah, I would say we don't have a lot of data on. I don't think there's any data on a coach that has left for another school while they're in the NCAA tournament. So what's that?
No, Kramer, how is Colby's? We're all on the same internet, but Colby's internet is still the bad internet. What the hell is going on with his internet?
Colby lives in his own universe. This is part of my theory about the Lisp. I think he might be traveling from
some weird magnetic field going around Colby. What's why is his internet so much slower? I don't.
He likes standard definition, Sean.
I do. I mean, look at yeah. All right. Sorry to interrupt, Colby.
But no, I like. We don't have data on this trend of like coaches leaving and potential whole roster leaving, but I think to Scott Rochelle's point, I think they are playing for an audition to go to NC State or wherever they end up. I'm gonna take McNeese. I'm gonna take him on the money line. I had him on my bracket on the money line before that news came out, but I think Purdue looked good today. They won. I thought they would win, but they looked a little bit better than I thought they would. But I think McNeese's athleticism can give them some problems. So I will take McNeese. I think it's worth another money line sprinkle here, despite the chaos going on in the. I almost feel like you're playing with less pressure from a coaching point of view, knowing that that information is out there. Maybe.
I don't hate that. I certainly don't hate the idea that there's like to your point on it being a distraction. The fact that he's already accepted the job, that kind of removes that element of the distraction. And now, obviously, there's recruiting, but I don't know. He's probably pretty confident in his ability to recruit.
And how big of a dog was McNeese? They don't fit that trend of if you were a 7-point dog or more, winning outright and then getting points again. Isn't that what was the cutoff on that angle, Ryan?
So the 7 points.
7 points. Yeah, I mean, I want to take McNeese. I'm down to fade Purdue. I'm a little scared they may have shot their load there. Are we not worried about that? That like that was the game. Hey, win one for the coach, and now you're getting outclassed by Purdue here.
Well, to me, like McNeese, I just don't know if Purdue's that good this year. Like High Point, I know they lost by 12. I know they didn't cover, but they had their opportunities to really stay in that game. McNeese is better than High Point. McNeese, I just think they can also defend and challenge the guards of Purdue. So I'll take the points. I think the money line's live.
Yeah, Why not?
All right,
I mean,
I'm in.
they-
Give me
they didn't
McNeese.
look. Yeah, they didn't look overmatched, and I think we're probably carrying some bias. Purdue not being very good. We want them to not be very good. I'm fine with the fade. All right. So is the second game Colby, Michigan and Texas A&M? Colby?
No, it is Arkansas and St. John's. No, it's
What
Arkansas
time?
and St. John's. St. John's laying 6.5 as far as I'm seeing. That's at 11:40 a.m.
11:40 a.m. Okay.
So
Yeah, I got you. Arkansas, the 10 seed, St. John's, the 2 seed. Obviously, this is a sit down of the great Calamari family and the Patino family. Both coaches obviously have ties to the area. This is excellent. Hopefully, there's lots of Italian flags all over the place. I assume Big Dom will be in attendance. I assume there'll be all sorts of Italian celebrities. Tommy DeVito's agent, I assume, will be there.
He's going to be showing up in some crazy ass suit. I saw a Grateful Keg in the chat make that comment. He's going full Italian.
I mean, I don't think he has any other way about him other than full Italian. St. John's laying 6.5, minus 298 on the money line. Arkansas plus 240, 142.5 is the total. St. John's really turned it on. And to Colby's earlier point, the zone is what really screwed up Arkansas because they're clearly not a well-coached team. That still means that there's a massive advantage here.
Those like couple inbound things that they had to keep calling timeouts, like back-to-back timeouts on the inbound pass, and Calamari's there screaming at him, going like, "You can run on the baseline." It is crazy to trust that, and Arkansas plus 6.5. But then on the other side, this St. John's, they do start slow. They don't, but they do put away teams. So it does feel like they're a better version of this Arkansas team in a lot of ways. Better coached, better athletes. It does feel like they're eventually going to close them out.
It's a big number, though. It's a big number. Arkansas, I think a lot of their analytics lie to you because it was Calipari's first season there in Fayetteville, and you look. I would just try to look at the analytics from like the past month because they're playing at a much higher level than the rest of the season. And I wonder, like I said, if Patino goes zone, which he never does, so I'm assuming that won't happen. So it'll kind of be athletes on athletes. I'll take the points, but I think St. John's wins the game.
Yeah, you don't have to play a zone to get them to do something they don't want to do. I think that's the only thing I would say. I think obviously, hopefully, Calipari's having some coaching moments about how maybe some zone meters. I still think you look at the metrics on how St. John's plays, and the teeth of their defense is still the two interior defense, and so I think it's going to be a difficult game. And I think if I watched Kansas if Kansas doesn't have Hunter Dickinson, they beat Arkansas, and we're not even talking about this matchup. So I was going to fade St. John's this round. My bracket fades St. John's this round. I can't do it. That second half was nice.
So Kramer's on St. John's, laying the 6.5. Colby, you're taking Woo Pig Suey plus 6.5.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be the Johnnies by 3 or 4.
That running, that little running like shot that they do in the paint for Arkansas is so sweet to watch. I'll take John Calamari one more time. Give me Arkansas on plus 6.5. Woo Pig Suey. Let's go.
All right. What's the next game, Colby?
Yeah, it's Michigan and Texas A&M at 2:15. What line did you have?
Texas A&M laying 1.5 minus 125 on the money line. Michigan plus 105. 140.5 is the total. I don't think I was very impressed with Michigan either. What time was this game, Colby?
2:15.
I don't think I was too impressed with Michigan. I thought, if anything, they had a massive advantage, and the coaching adjustments went against them all the way around. And they were also playing a D2 team, to your earlier point, Colby. So, I know I'm a Buzz Williams guy, but now I want Buzz to get that chance against Auburn next round. And I think if they play the same way they did, like the size advantage that Michigan had in that game against UC San Diego, they will not have against Texas A&M. They will get
but couldn't
outboarded.
you say that exact same thing for Texas A&M? Like Texas A&M beat up on Yale because Yale had all these tiny dudes. Now they're going up against the big men of Michigan. I think they're going to have their
big
hands
man
full.
that transferred from Yale.
Yeah,
and Danny Wolf though. Like I think it's a great matchup for A&M. Like defensively,
really,
I do. I think their athleticism with those bigs and the way that A&M rebounds the ball. I think Danny. Good luck, Danny Wolf and Golden. They're gonna need if Wolf and Golden can get going, which I don't think will happen. That's the blueprint to Michigan winning the game. But I'll take the experience of both teams, I guess, super experienced when it comes to March. But I think it's a good matchup for A&M because I think they're the more not only just the way they rebound the ball, but also I think they're gonna give those bigs a hard time, and Michigan's going to need those guards to score too. I think A&M wins this one. I'm going to lay the 1.5.
The strength of the Michigan offense is attacking the strength of the Texas A&M defense. Also, Sean, Texas A&M is the best offensive rebounding team in the country. They do this to everyone. And if anything, I don't want to. Michigan also turns the ball over. We didn't see a ton of that in this game. Texas A&M is going to destroy them in that regard. I love Texas. This is a lock, potentially. Actually, this is a lock. But shout out to Buzz Williams.
Shout out to Danny Dumbshit in the chat saying, did the officials leave the Michigan locker room celebration yet? Yeah, no, they were all over. I mean, we couldn't get one fucking point. The Tridents, like, just come on. The basketball gods did not want UCSD to cover that. And that was so painful coming all the way back, fighting the officials, and then to lose exactly by 2.5. Oh, God, that was such a fucking frustrating game. Hey, quick shout out, of course, Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code SGPN. Get you a nice deposit bonus up to $1,000 in credits. And, of course, shout out to our buddies over at Edge Boost. Get the cash back you need when you're betting on sports. EdgeBoost.bet, promo code SGPN. Kramer, what else we got on Saturday?
All right, next up we got at 3:10 p.m.
And to be clear, you guys did talk me into Texas A&M. I will take them, although I'm skeptical.
All right. Next up, 3:20 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading back to where are we heading to? Wichita, Kansas, for the Drake Texas Tech matchup. Now, this does fit a commandment. This fits a couple commandments, actually. Unfortunately, for Drake, they were catching. Wait, what was the official spread in the first round? 6. Yeah, so they were catching 6. They're now catching more. They were catching more than 6 in the first round. They're now catching more than 7 this round. That is generally a fade recipe. They're all. I hate that we have these commandments because then I look like an idiot when I just go against them.
Yep.
I do have a nice ticket on Drake to make the Final Four.
Could that be creating any bias for you, Kramer?
It could be creating some bias. So I'll let you guys go first.
Yeah, no, thou shall fade these first round upsets. I get it, Drake look good, but that's the whole reason why the system is there. You fall in love with this team. And I think, I don't know. Obviously Drake got it done. So hats off to them. Got the win, got the cover, but I think Texas Tech gets the win, takes care of business. They roll on, and yeah, I know UNC Wilmington was a little close, but they kind of pulled away there at the end. Maybe that gave them a good scare. So I'll take Texas Tech laying 8.5.
And you want to shop around. There's some 9.5s out there too, but I look on my bracket. I had Texas Tech, but guess what? They played today. Chance McMillan didn't play. I'm under the belief that he's probably not going to play on Saturday then. So that's huge. That's their second leading scorer on the team. And to me, Drake winning wire to wire pretty much against Missouri, I can't fade them. 9.5 points is ridiculous. I think the money line's live. If Texas Tech doesn't have their second leading scorer, to me, this is a game. And I think, if anything, I know Drake was terrible at the free throw line today. They needed to be better at the free throw line. But I also think their bigs can challenge defensively, not offensively. Their bigs aren't offensive, great offensive players. But I do think they could challenge top in there. So I'll take the points on Drake. I think they're live.
They also are an underdog who's coming off a double-digit victory, which is part of that same commandment. The free throw stuff, obviously a little concerning. We saw it play out in real time in the game against Missouri. My caveat here would be, or like the reason I'm going to discard the commandment here is it did seem, well, here's what I would say. This is like a tailor-made. All right, Texas Tech wants to shoot a lot of threes, and Drake wants to slow the game down. If Texas Tech does not start the game hot, this could get ugly for them. Maybe it turns into a game like Missouri where they make a run. But I like the makeup of this Drake team. They got some characters. What's the name of the guard? He has the makeup of a guy who should be getting a nice.
Are you talking Sturts? The fucking
Sturts.
Guy who's making crazy shots.
Oh,
let me tell you something. The thing that stood out to me was they forced 13 steals. That's a season high
for
right?
Drake.
Drake had 13 steals on Missouri's guards. To me, if you're getting that again, and with the uncertainty of the injury situation where Texas Tech could be playing a backup, I gotta take Drake, and it goes against my bracket. But I assumed that that they were healthy. They're not. So, yeah.
Sturts is going to light up the YMCA league when he's done playing ball. The shot making a bit. I mean,
we need to create a list of like all-time YMCA team from like white dude college basketball stuff that you could create it. You could put together a fucking super team.
I mean, he also kind of has the look of a guy who gets disrespected just because he's a white guy, and so it's like that. He's sneaky quick, finishes well around the basket. It's like, no, you just didn't expect him to do that. All right. Next up, we head to Auburn and Creighton, the 9-1 matchup, which is going on at 4:10 p.m. on the West Coast in Lexington, Kentucky. Turns out that we won't get that Louisville game that everyone was talking about. By the way, they did our bit on the pregame show. I don't know if you saw it, Sean.
I did.
They were making fun of Charles Barkley's pronunciation of Louisville. Auburn, not going to say they look good today. -8.5, -440 on the money line. Creighton +340, 151.5. Creighton also fits the commandment as they are coming off a 16-point victory. No, 14-point victory. Can't do math. And they are now a dog. Again, double-digit dog or dogs coming off a double-digit win. Pretty strong fade trend. The ATS number on that trend is a ridiculous 7-23 ATS over the last 30 and 4-26 straight up. So hopefully we're wrong. But yeah, so in this game, what are we doing here? Because I do think Auburn has a lot more to show. They didn't bring their A game.
I'm all over Creighton. I mean, my bracket, I picked Creighton to beat Auburn outright. I think they've been playing better basketball in the final couple weeks of the season. I like McDermott over Bruce Pearl from a coaching point of view, and Auburn wasn't the best defensive team. One of the things I love about McDermott's teams, especially, on a quick turnaround, is I feel like I saw it today, the spacing, the way they picked apart Louisville's defense. And the team's coming along. I mean, they not only do they have the veterans that have been part of these, like Cockbrenner and Ashworth, but coming on for them today. Yeah, like 29 points today. I love Creighton in this spot. I think the money line is live. I really think this is a very hard game for Auburn. And I will take the coach that I trust more I guess both teams are somewhat older, but I think Creighton has more actual NCAA tournament experience. So give me the Blue Jays.
Yeah, both teams in the top 40 in Ken Palm's experience metric. Auburn slightly higher. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I can only go against the commandments once with my Drake Bulldogs. So give me Auburn, Texas A&M loading.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kramer. I think there's still a good team in that Auburn, and I think that the way that game shook out for them could be a little bit of a wake up call. So I think they're going to be locked in on Creighton, and I love fading Creighton off a massive win. Creighton's had some issues this year coming off huge wins, so I'll take Auburn laying the 8.5.
Also, the big story here is like the misseeding of some of these teams may show up, right? You have teams like Gonzaga and Creighton who are probably slightly better than the 8-9 teams of normal going against some of your top 1 seeds. It doesn't really make sense.
Very tough. If you're an Auburn fan, if you're a Houston fan, you're sitting there like, what in the hell? What in the hell? We have like legit really good teams that could go very far in March.
Do we have to maybe send a letter to Bubba?
Bubba Cunningham, he got his boys in. All right.
Hey, guys, I'm going to step out of the room when you discuss this. I won't be listening.
Yeah, please.
Won't impact my decisions here. And so what? Nothing happens to that guy. They just move on. I love college sports is hilarious like that.
He got $105,000 almost. I think it was 104 and change to his bank account. So I mean, something did happen. And you can make more actually, and they won a game, which I think if they win another game, he has another clause in his contract for even more money.
I mean, that's college sports for you. The people someone's getting paid under the table in college sports at all times. You can bet on that. All right, next up we got, man, I am hungry. BYU, Wisconsin, 3-6 matchup, 4:45 on the West Coast. This game's in Denver. The elevation angle was good, kind of good and kind of bad all at the same time. -1 for Wisconsin. I know this number is a little bit bouncing around, but right now it's Wisconsin -1, -115 on the money line, 155.5 is the total. Colby?
I mean, my bracket has Wisconsin beating BYU. But BYU looks so good today.
Yes, BYU looks so good.
Yeah.
Ever since Conor McGregor set foot on that campus and did God knows what to it, they have been energized. They've been jacked up. Shout out to Jacked Up Energy Drink. This BYU team, they're well-rounded. They got guys crashing the boards. They got guys who can hit shots. Like, I don't know, Kramer, does this game fall under one of the commandments as well because they won by double digits?
BYU, well, yes. But I would asterisk this one's because there's pick'ems out there. There's BYU minus a point out there. This is very.
I'm gonna pick this at BYU -1, so I don't sin. Give me the Cougars. This BYU team's fucking awesome. Kramer, we have a future on BYU to make it to the Final Four, and I don't feel horrible about it.
I mean, the path gets a little tougher down the road.
Oh, they're going to beat pussy ass Duke? Come on.
I got it. Look, I know I picked Wisconsin in my bracket, but I think BYU is playing better ball. Like, they were so impressive today that I think I have to take BYU.
I'm in. I'll take BYU with you. I certainly also think I do think they had a pretty healthy crowd there as well. Like,
oh yeah, that place was rocking.
So, yeah, I know nothing bad to say about Wisconsin, but I'm just going to continue to ride the hot hand with BYU as well. And I like how, let's just make it a pick, just so we don't sin. I like that. All right. Next up, another one of those 9-1 matchups between a vastly underseeded team. I mean, Gonzaga came out and showed everyone how bad that seeding was. I mean, that was one of the easiest bets I've made in a March Madness setting, where it was like, I was like, oh, I even went back to get more, got a bad number with 7, and was like, I don't think I'm too worried about this. And then the game starts, and it's like, oh, okay. These teams
had
are on
3 points at like the 10-minute mark.
These teams are on completely different levels.
It was kind of weird because Gonzaga got out to a 30-5 start, and they were just like, I don't know, I guess we'll fuck around the rest of the game. But then they had a couple scares and then pulled away. This Gonzaga team's really good. They're a sleeping giant.
So this one's at 5:40 on the West Coast and in Wichita, and Gonzaga also fits the
Damn it.
the double a dog coming off, so an underdog coming off a double-digit victory. I will just as a macro point that obviously we have a weird year with the seeding because you're noticing that a lot of these matchups, unlike in previous years, maybe it's like a 3-6 in that range. There are all these teams going. We're seeing blowouts in the 7-10, 8-9 matchups that are then leading into a game teeing off against a 1 or a 2 seed. So it does make sense that they're a dog. I worry that this will break the trend, but I think that this has allowed us to get a nice short price on my Houston Cougars. Right, Colby?
Free throws at the end. I'm going to lay the 5.5 still. That's my national champ. Is it a scary fucking game for my bracket? 100%. I actually think this will be scarier. This will be more challenging, I think, than the next two matchups probably for Houston. So, but I think free throws at the end are the difference. Houston minus 5.5. Let's go.
Yeah, Kramer, what are you doing? Are you sticking with Houston?
I think so. It's a great matchup. Like both teams, strength on strength. And to Colby's point, the end of game free throw stuff, maybe a double sin, not quite a double sin, but certainly you got to look at Gonzaga when you're looking at some of the best free throw shooting teams in the land. They don't turn the ball like both these teams. It's going to be a hell of a game. I just think this Houston team has something. And I mean, to what you said too, Sean, the Gonzaga was kind of fucking around for the second half. And I don't necessarily know if that's always the best thing. I think that also plays into this trend a little bit because when you have a blowout, maybe you're not, playing at the same level of focus for the entire game. All of that being said, I was never not going to take Houston here.
Last but not least, someone in the chat pointed out Gonzaga shoots over 77% from the line, and this is a spread under 6 points. Thus, I have to be on the Zags getting 5.5 points. And also, too, I got Zaga going on in my bracket, so I'm gonna stay true to that, even though it goes against some of the other commandments. So sometimes you have to decide for yourself if you have multiple conflicting commandments.
All right, last game of the day, 6:40 p.m. I always forget how much the games are spaced out once we get to Saturday. Man, Thursday and Friday really are the best. 6:40 p.m. It's the UCLA Tennessee game, 7-2 matchup. Another game that fits an underdog who's coming off a blowout, a double-digit win. UCLA, they're catching 4.5 points, plus 190 on the money line. Tennessee minus 230, 131.5 is the total. I did enjoy Tennessee fucking around with Wofford. Rick Barnes just can't help himself. But UCLA, I mean, I don't know if that was Utah State looking like ass or if that was UCLA figuring some stuff out, but I don't know what to do in this one. Colby, what do you think?
Yeah, I like Tennessee. I mean, you're going to hear me talk about this one on the locks, I think. As much as UCLA looked really good today, and I think it was a little bit of both, to your point. I think UCLA looked really good, but also Utah State would have been ass the final couple weeks of the season.
So bad.
Mountain West taking it on the chin.
The reality is, though, that they're young. UCLA is incredibly young, and you're taking on a veteran Tennessee team. So I will take Tennessee. I think it's actually one of the best plays you can do tomorrow.
Really?
I know.
Or Saturday, I mean. Yeah.
What do I do? Because I like I do like the Kramer. UCLA also qualifies as a double-digit win. That's a dog. So
you should fade them. Yeah.
But I do have UCLA winning the Final Four or getting into the Final Four. Do I fade my bracket or do I fade the commandments? God, what should I do? Kramer, you're taking Tennessee?
Pretty much any sort of commandment that we discuss will point you to Tennessee here, I think.
Does my bracket overrule commandments?
No, that's actually commandment 10. No one cares about your bracket, Sean. Colby's been sinning the whole show just talking about his fucking bracket.
Shut up about his bracket.
I think if you break down the game, whether you use KenPom or whatever analytics you use, you're going to find yourself to realizing that there's a lot of versions of this game where it's going to be very difficult for UCLA to score. And if they're not hitting threes like they were tonight, I don't see how they keep up. Unless Tennessee just completely Rick Barnes shits the bed, which that's that's always in the range.
I'm going to take Tennessee, but I'll be super happy if UCLA wins. And
Rick Barnes being number 4 on the NCAA appearance list for college coaches all time is fucking mind blowing.
It's insane.
He's not in a pantheon of great coaches for me, and yet here we are. He does have the vampire look though, which all great college coaches turn into vampires eventually.
Yeah, what is that? Patino hasn't seen. They're Italian too, Ryan. I thought Italians have a natural tan. He's Patino's talking about in Greece. I'm in Sicily. I'm in the Mediterranean. The guy looks like he's he's ready to suck your neck.
I think it's partially just people getting old. And then you combine old guys wearing suits and not having a good tan. Yeah, there you go. They're inside too much. Basketball is an indoor sport, Sean.
It's true. The way God intended. All right, let's close it out. Rapid bonus show. We're playing through pain. We got to eat some fucking dinner. 2 locks and a dog. Kramer, what do you got?
All right. So sorry, I got distracted by this comment in the chat. Apparently, Will Wade making offers to boyfriends. That's interesting. We won't let NC State know about that. Lock number 1, Texas A&M. Lock number 2. Ooh. I do really want to. You know what? Give me Drake. I'm riding a dime with this team. Money line on McNeese.
You can get 9.5, Kramer.
All right, I'll shop around.
Yeah.
All right, for me, lock up BYU. That is the lock of all locks.
Actually, that's a good lock too. Can we do a third lock?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Throw BYU in my locks as well.
Okay.
It's such a good lock. Plus Wisconsin shitting the bed would be. I feel like that we're teeing up for that.
Next up, BYU lock. Then I'll also take Arkansas plus 6.5 as a lock. Give me Auburn laying the 8.5 as another lock, and then my dog, the Zags on the money line. Colby.
We will lock Tennessee minus 4.5, plus 9.5. And then the dog is, let's go. That's a good question. Which do I go Drake? Do I go Creighton? Let's go Drake, but I like a parlay of Drake Creighton money line.
Wait, did you have a third lock, Colby?
I did.
No.
Yeah, I did.
You got Drake plus 9.5, Tennessee minus 4.5. What's your third lock?
My top lock was my first one was Tennessee. My second was A&M. My third one was Drake.
Oh, I missed the A&M.
Yeah.
All righty. All right, let's get some fucking food. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Come say hi if you're out in Vegas. We're drinking. We're shaking hands. Circa, yeah. Anytime our show ends at 11 tomorrow night. So come say hi. We'll have a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks to everyone for signing up for the bracket competition for Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
March Madness. This is March.
Kramer. Let it ride.
All right.